wondering what that is in the background, it's my exercise ball. And I need to use it more, but I have not been doing that. But anyway. So I apologize for not being on here last week with the review, but I watched the show on demand and they didn't get it up till like last Saturday, and it was, so many days had gone by. I just said, I'm gonna have to skip this review and just go to the next episode. And for this week, I didn't get around to watching the show until last night, but I'm still gonna do the review anyway. So let's get right into it. Where are my notes? Notes. Okay, so Wyatt is in jail right across from Catherine. I guess this is like where they just keep the people until they transfer them to the central jail. Um, and so he's telling her that Jim is dead, and he does not know this for sure. He's just taunting her. He's like, "Well, I shot him." And Catherine's like, oh God, how could you do that? That's your father. Oh. And Catherine's all distraught. And I'm saying, you're distraught over this guy who treats you like trash, has cheated on you, and has mocked you over it, been very disrespectful and all of that. And she's like, that was your father. Oh. And I'm like, Catherine, you are a fool. And so Wyatt, he's not giving any cares. He's like Jimmy Crack Cohen, and I don't care. And Catherine's all like, I want this nightmare to be over. I just want to wake up. And I'm like, Catherine, you're acting like Jim is has been some model husband and that you have reason to be so upset over him. I'm like, and Wyatt's like, he's just he's like, well, after what I've been put through, I mean, why would I feel bad about this? And he's saying, he's just saying all sorts of crazy things, and he just says, he ends up saying, well, I want to know where he's buried so I can piss on his grave. So Wyatt was saying all sorts of crazy things, and so over the hospital, I'm gonna try to keep all this together, the hospital parts. So the doctor tells David that Jim is all right, and Celine wants to see him. Um, but David tells her to leave, and David's like he's in this. He's inserting himself into this as if it really is his business. Granny Jim uses him as his fixer a lot, but David was really acting like um, what that Jim's business with Celine is his. I mean, Celine has had children by Jim, and I'm like, David, just let Jim deal with his situation here. So, what happened next at the hospital? Okay, uh, so Jeffrey and Madison, he was gonna give Madison was gonna give Jeffrey a ride. At first, Jeffrey hesitated, and he was like, "Oh, all right." And so, of course, Justin's creeping around, and he sees them leaving, and he's all like angry and all that. And David's like, "I see how you were looking at them," and he threatens him, and he says, "If you think what Veronica had done to you was anything, just as much," he was saying, as much as say, "You wait till you see what I can do." And Justin's not giving any cares anymore. He's just like, you can't hurt me." And Justin just looks so run down and stinky right in this episode. Just the clothes look like they were pulled out of the hamper because he did not have anything else to wear. He just looks run down and stinky right now. Okay. Like I said, I want to keep all the hospital parts together. So Celine talks to the doctor and she's saying she wants to see Jim, and she says, and because she's, of course she's not family, so the doctor doesn't let her in, and he says, you work here, right? If you want to see Jim, you're gonna have to clear it with your supervisor. And so she goes on, and David tells the doctor, because the doctor says, "Do you want me to have her written up?" And he says, "Fired would be better." And I'm like, this is just really dirty, David, because she had told him that Jim stopped paying child support, and so David's like, "Get her fired." And I'm like, so this woman is like trying to take care of her kids, or the she has the one minor son, and she's trying to take care of her child, and you say you get her fired? I mean, David is just real dirty. Um, and he's just doing Jim's bidding and just being real dirty. So, yeah, so David tells Jim about Catherine getting arrested and all that. And of course, Jim wants to get up, and David's like, no, you can't do that. You need to stay here in the hospital. And he agrees to go talk to Catherine and, find out what's going on, see how he can help her. So, let's get, what do I want to, okay, just so let's get Charles out of the way, because he really annoys me. So Landon managed to get this good headline for Candace out, how that made her look like a victim, and all of that, and it would make Charles look like the hero. So he basically is trying to, patch this whole thing up with Candace and Charles, because Charles does really like her. And so Charles has a conversation with his friend from the his friend, I guess, advisor, whatever, played by the Elvin from the Cosby Show. And so his trusted friend advisor, he tells him, you know what, this woman is really not worth the trouble, but you like her because of the sex and the and that because she's a better con to you, than you, that's a real, challenge for you. That's you a real turn on and all that. And he's telling him what the score is, but and then let's stay with the presidency. So Oliver had gotten this senator a meeting with Charles, and Landon's like, well, what do you owe him? What does your family owe him? And Oliver's like, we don't owe him anything. And Landon wants the meeting canceled. So clearly, this is somebody that is not a somebody that does not need to be involved with Charles, because Landon does tell Oliver, if I found out you're working against Charles, you're gonna be in trouble. Basically, that's what he said. So with that out of the way, let's just talk about this whole mess with Benny. So Benny, of course, he's kidnapped because he ended up, you know, falling for that whole stunt of, oh, free dance, free lap dance in the back of the club, as if that would really be free. So the kidnapper, he wants Benny to call Hannah, but Benny refuses, and Benny's in a real jam. So at Hannah's house, she's really upset. She's still calling Benny. He's not answering. So Mitch and Candace arrive. Mitch gives her the lowdown on everything that happened, and he's trying to really avoid that they were at a strip club. And I'm like, come on, Mitch. Hannah's not stupid, and I think she knows what Benny. She knows that Benny is into that sort of thing. So, and in the circumstances, does it really matter if he was at a strip club or not? I mean, he's kidnapped now, so the details of where he was kidnapped from don't really matter, considering that the goal is to get him back and in one piece and alive. Um, so Benny does call Hannah, and she's, "Where are you? Where are you?" And he wants to talk to Candace, and he does tell Hannah that Jim's people are holding him, and Candace does not want to. Candace is saying, "No, we're not going to give the money back." Hannah was, of course, saying, "Give the money back. We're going to give it back. You're going to give it back." And Candace is like, "No, they'll take the money and they will kill Benny." And Mitch is pretty much in agreement with Candace. Because, of course, Mitch knows what these people are up to because his family rolls the same way. And so Hannah wants to call the police. Mitch is like, "Don't do that. Don't do that." And Candace is not giving up the money because she says that would be giving up leverage. And so they end up going to the hospital to see Jim. And of course, they're not letting Hannah in or able to see him. And the guard is not, there's a guard post outside Jim's door, and he's saying you're not gonna see him. And so Mitch steps up and he's like towering over the guy. "You know my grandmother's Rose Malone." Yeah. And so that's all he had to say. He just had to intimidate him with that threat. Because the Malone name is, feared in Savannah. So that worked. So Hannah and Candace were able to get in, and Jim, he's not he's gonna keep talking smart. And so well, wait a minute, let me say this before. Candace did slap him, and she tells him, "How does it feel to be so hated that your only son shot you?" And that led up to Jim saying very cryptic he was saying these very cryptic things about Quincy shooting, little Quincy Q. And he said something like this before. He's like, "How do you think that your grandson got shot up like that and you didn't get a scratch, Hannah? How do you think that happened? It would take more precision or whatever than a bunch of thugs just shooting up randomly." And he said this before, so it's clear that he had Q, Q targeted directly to kill him. So um and that's really gonna piss Candace off. So Jim calls up his thug and is like, "Kill Benny, just kill him." And they're sort of like, and Hannah's like, and Candace is just like, it's like she's trying to get on her game. She doesn't know exactly what to do, but she's not going to be intimidated by Jim. But it's like she's trying to think out her game plan. So that's where it ended. Oh, and I almost forgot about, yeah, I almost forgot about Veronica. So George, he's trying to come over there and do a deal with Veronica. And he's not a very good deal maker. He's like, "Well, if you talk to me about Catherine, we can do something about you sending thugs in to shoot your husband." And Veronica's like, "You're a nice, decent man, but you're a terrible DA." And she starts talking about shrimp fried rice, and it's so racist. And I'm like, "Veronica, come on now." And we know she's racist because she said racist things to black people. And George is trying to be all bad, like, "How would you like it if I said something about fried chicken and watermelon?" And she's like, "I don't care. I like it. I like it." And you can tell that she was not pleased with what he says. But of course, she's always going to play everything off like, "You can't hurt me." That's how she acts. And and then George is like, "But I would never say something like that." And I'm like, she's right. He really is a bad DA. And I'm like, so she made this shrimp fried rice comment to you, and you're basically going to just like you're gonna try to clap back at her, but you're going to take it back. And I'm like, George, you're a mess. And he told her that Jennifer Salison had an affair with David, and then he was like, well, wait, that's just a rumor. And I'm like, you're trying to antagonize her, but you're taking the stuff back, George. I don't know. So we'll see what happens next week. Of course, Benny is still in jeopardy, and I don't know how this is going to turn out for Benjamin Young. But that was the haves and the have-nots review for this week. If I missed anything, I'm sorry for that. I kind of jotted these notes down a little messy this time, but as always, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you the next time. Bye.